abusunya mama na wase na mema wakwa aba Honorable Sammy Gyamfi okokopie mu e wo Dry News 5 program so na okokohia Honorable Kabiru awoye former vice president Dr Bawumia'S 8 ono e na okokohia no program no so na samba ko ameka eni se o kokohia Honorable Sammy Gyamfi na se on prepare ya enye wadwen se program no obesi so because the young guy will disgrace you on the program. What you see? Na minim say NPP mu obi asesi obetimi amachi Sammy Gyamfi say a bad debate a ye de asem air to asem ho ye de papers ye de evidence e di dwumade ya Honorable Kwadwo Oponkroma e na megidi say ankasisi ye Goldbod nsensem omo enye open fight between him and Sammy Gyamfi na ye hu de ebesi Honorable Sammy Gyamfi wadi nkomo one Honorable Kabiru na menua de si ye de me nkasa ye hwe video no na wo hwe video no ewia just go to the comment section observation biala uhuye no just write it there for me. I'll respond na boa me bibiara aye kama answer na be video no nya subscribe ya na subscribe like video yi so na comment biala one just go to the comment section so ni na poko we are share ma uni no no so onya bi ehwe me da wase ehwe video no mra yakoba ebeto aso.
I want to start with some of the issues that Bright raised. His first argument was that Cocoa Board is just like Goldbod. Cocoa Board is also not primarily a profit-making institution, just like Goldbod. And yet, we discuss Cocoa Board losses, so nobody can stop anybody from discussing Goldbod losses. First of all, that argument is flawed because let's even assume that you can make that comparison between Cocoa Board and Goldbod. Cocoa Board has been recording losses, Goldbod has not recorded a loss. So that comparison doesn't cut it. That's number one. Goldbod has not made a loss. And it doesn't matter how many times you repeat that falsehood, it will not make it right. Goldbod is a corporate body, a body corporate. In fact, it is a public corporation. It has not made a loss. Number two, no, you must understand that there is, even though Goldbod and Cocoa Board has similarities in terms of mandates, our trade models are different because we are dealing with two different commodities. Cocoa Board provides incentives and support to cocoa farmers in the form of cocoa rows, cocoa fertilizer, chemicals, rehabilitation. And so by virtue of that, are justified to give cocoa farmers prices that sometimes are 30–40% discounted. Goldbod provides no good rules or no such incentives to miners and therefore cannot have a justification to buy gold at a discount or to trade gold the same way cocoa is traded. Understand that. Number two, whereas cocoa is very difficult to smuggle because it is bulky. To smuggle cocoa for it to make financial sense means you're carrying bags and bags of cocoa, putting it in a truck to smuggle. Gold is a small asset, but high value asset. You can put 1 kg of gold in your pocket and cross the border, and nobody will know that you're carrying something. So you don't manage cocoa the way you manage gold. And when you're drawing parallels in a debate like this, make sure you're comparing like with like, not oranges with apples. In any case, this is the main point. Nobody is saying don't assess the efficiency of the Goldbod model like you assess the efficiency of the Cocoa Board model. But in assessing the efficiency of a policy, any policy analyst worth his salt will do that assessment from the perspective of policy objects and policy goals. So, Cocoa Board is making losses. Yes, you are right to assess that. Is Cocoa Board delivering on its mandate? Goldbod was established for the purpose of foreign exchange generation and supporting gold reserve accumulation. So when you are analyzing the efficiency of our model, you don't only look at cost, if indeed we were even incurring cost, but we are not. Currently, it is the BOG. This year, we may. Okay? But you look at it from the perspective of our cost versus the realization of our mandate or objects. That is not what you're doing. You're talking cost. In all your write-ups, you have never acknowledged the role and impact of Goldbod on this economy.
That's not correct.
Which the IMF even does. So that's number one. Number two.
I'll come to it.
He makes the argument that G4O was not for profit, and yet we discussed losses under it and it has been scrapped. Yes, G4O was also a monetary policy intervention, not for profit per se. Our criticism of G4O was one, opacity. We didn't know who were the aggregators. We didn't know how good was being bought. We didn't know a lot of things. And the most important thing was that it was not delivering the outcomes it was supposed to deliver, at least relative to cost. So BOG did a cost-benefit analysis and said that, look, the exposures we are having under G4O, both on the gold side and on the oil side, is not worth the benefits we are getting in terms of fuel price reduction, which was or stability, which was the object of G4O
on inflation.
So that is why they have scrapped it. So when you're doing the analysis, situate it in the right context. Then he says that we are interested in knowing the full chain of risk and issues and so you are interested in knowing. It means you don't know. And when you are interested in knowing something, you ask questions. You don't jump into hasty conclusions. That's number 3. Then number 4, he says the CEO of Goldbod will not admit losses, but will say that there is some cost anywhere. Hello, I said Goldbod has not made losses, and you have not been able to show that Goldbod has made losses. All you're talking about is cost under a BOG program. And you want to create an impression that cost under a BOG program on BOG books is Goldbod's cost. Where did you get that kind of analysis from? Where? So you are wrong. And we are not sharing blames, because what the BOG has done is worthy of commendation, like all Ghanaians are commending them. It is only you, or you Kabiru and the likes, who want to create an impression as though somebody at BOG has done something wrong, for which reason blame should be shared. For you to say that, oh, if at all that there is, you are saying that the issue is about burden sharing, or what did you even say? Blame sharing between Goldbod. It should be about blame sharing between Goldbod and the Goldbod.
Don't worry,
there is nothing like blame sharing.
All of it.
Again, he talks about no matter how you look at this, it is a trading loss and not just a mere administrative loss. Why? Because the IMF has said so. Okay, we are saying whether trading or administrative or whatever, we have explained to you that the bulk of this cost, which you are calling loss, over 97% of it, comes about as a result of exchange rate translational differentials, because we buy gold at market exchange rate as pertains to non-bank transactions, but accountants convert FX proceeds at BOG rates. That is it. And I've also explained to you why we buy gold as spot to fend off smugglers, because we want to prevent what happened in 2021, when a 3% discount led to a sharp decline in ASM gold output from 39.3 to 3.4 tons. And therefore, we incur transaction cost. You understand? So understand that. Then he says that from their investigations, they have heard that some self-financing aggregators are saying that BOG, Bower Rock is making their business difficult. They can't compete. But who told you that licensees of Goldbod are supposed to compete among themselves? Who told you that? If you don't have information, ask. Who told you that? A self-financing aggregator is not supposed to go and borrow money from any bank for any business. You don't even know that. The reason why we have allowed for self-financing aggregators is so that if there is an off-taker somewhere who wants to send dollars in advance of exports, he can send the dollars to a licensed self-financing aggregator through Goldbod's account. Goldbod takes the dollars and give the CD equivalent to the self-financing aggregator to go and buy gold at Goldbod's price. There is nothing like competition. At Goldbod's price. And then Goldbod exports the gold to the off-taker of the self-financing aggregator. We did not introduce that layer of license buying to create competition among licensed buyers, which will eventually lead to price hikes. Okay. And that will come on our books as increased cost. Then he says that Bower Rock, we checked from Income, and Bower Rock was not an exporter, and now they have learned that Bower Rock was only buying for somebody. Who told you that under the old regime, we only had good exporters? Under the old regime, you must know that the PMMC issued gold trading licenses for people to buy and sell gold locally. That was PMMC licenses. And then we had the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources issuing license for people to buy and export gold. Bawa didn't have a license to buy and export, but he had a license from PMMC from 2016, 2017 to 2024 to buy and sell gold in Ghana.
So if you can keep your responses crisp enough, so
yeah,
I'm bringing in,
and he was far
bigger. You have done about 9 minutes.
Hold on.
I want Senor
you
to
can give me 9 minutes.
It's most unfair.
As the CEO.
It's most unfair to
no, I'll come to him, and Senor himself may even give me part of his time. So I beg you.
He hasn't.
That's number one. That's number one. Then number two, he says that everything I've said about all the issues about Bawa Rock is enough for Kojo Oponkroma and the MPP to have a suspicion that something may be wrong. Really, Bright? You hold press conferences based on suspicions?
Yes.
You write
yes.
all your write-ups based on suspicions?
In democracy, yes.
No. You don't go to town with suspicions as though they are conclusive facts.
They say,
when you have suspicions,
it's not mere suspicion. Sammy, they say
yes.
It is an arrangement, a system to bleed the state whilst an individual is making a benefit.
Rather, and I've explained to you with documents that they cannot dispute, that rather it is a sensible risk mitigating measure to make sure that if you are going to give public funds to somebody to buy gold, you get a guarantee against it. That is a no-brainer. Again, he says that all he's asking for is transparency. Really? And I heard Kabiru saying that what we are doing is opaque. BOG raises CDs, syndicate CDs from the market, FSCs, for Goldbod through an auction. Do you know the meaning of an auction? You call an auction opaque. It means you don't even know what an auction is. Goldbod buys gold by law through licensed buyers. And all our licensed buyers are published on our website. Anybody can go and check, including Bawa Rock. And you are calling for transparency. What information did you need that you asked and we didn't give you? Let's go on. Then he says that obviously there will be shortfalls based on our trading model. So how will the shortfalls are financed through foreign reserves? Any trading shortfalls that arise as a result of policy cost is financed through the same reserve. And the key thing here is that after we finance the shortfalls, the reserve has increased from $8.9 billion as of December 2024 to over $13 billion as of December 2025. The reserves didn't go down after we financed the trading shortfalls. It rather went up exponentially. Then he says that if we buy gold with high-powered money, it will lead to inflation, so there will be high sterilization costs. Sterilization cost will even be higher if you don't attain FX market stability. That is trite. Again, you must know that when the Bank of Ghana uses high power under the MPP, they say you
should be concluding.
Oh, Charlie, you are making me rush through very important matters that your viewers expect a duty bearer like me.
Substantive issues have been canvassed over 1 hour. Substantive issues have been canvassed over 1 hour.
Then he says that we have pre-committed. He says that he doesn't know whether we have pre-commitments with off-takers. We don't have pre-commitments with off-takers because we don't take advances. You wrote on your X page that we have only one main off-taker, that is BOG, or one or two. You said 2 or 3.
I didn't say that.
We have 7. Under the MPP, there was only one off-taker called Alpha Stream. One off-taker. You didn't write anything about Alpha Stream. Let me finish. Alpha Stream was selling to Stonex, who didn't even have a contract with the BOG.
I was the first person to talk about Alpha Stream.
The Dr. Siama-led BOG has introduced 7 off-takers. They are vintage bullion, they are gold saddle, they are well gold, they are sovereign pinnacle, and all that.
All of them are published on my site.
Again, you say that a large-scale gold is also bringing dollars. Who has said large-scale gold is not bringing dollars? But we are saying that for the first time in the history of Ghana, the small scale sector, because of the good work done by Goldbod, has beaten the large scale sector. Whereas as at 24th December 2024, large scale gold sector had brought in FX to the tune of $9.2 billion. Small scale has brought in $10.8 billion. First time in history. Then you say that, why should we give all the CD stability credit to the Goldbod? Whoever said that Goldbod should be given all the credit. Nobody has said so. But you told Senor that if policymakers and government officials tell you that subsidies are good, then it means subsidies are good. Well, the finance minister says that Goldbod is the single most critical intervention that has led to the stability of the cedi. The Bank of Ghana says so. The IMF has said so. So why do you want us not to believe the finance minister, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, the IMF, and believe Bryce Simmons?
Thank you.
Now to Kabiru of Ghana, the IMF, and believe Bryce Simmons.
Thank you.
Now to Kabiru, I'll do that in 5 minutes, and I promise you that. Number one, I'm rushing through. When I'm done, I'm done. You've spoken over 30 minutes, so let me finish. Kabiru sits here, they don't do basic checks, and they come and sit on radio and embarrass themselves. He says that this issue about Bawa Rock has come up because Sammy Gyamfi and Goldbod didn't comply with Section 42 by publishing contracts and whatever. If you have been doing research, you would have known that immediately we awarded Bawa Rock a license, we published it on our website. Go and check. Then he says that
contract is different from license.
you see something, this guy.
Contract is different.
Please, for those of you watching, let's give you proper legal company law education. A company, please, when you were speaking, I didn't interject you once. Bawa Rock was registered on 14th January 2025. This is a certificate. 2015, this is it.
Yeah.
Bawa Rock then changed its name from Bawa Rock Limited to Bawa Rock Company Limited on 20th day of November 2023.
Correct.
This is it. A change of name is not the same as change of objects. Please don't embarrass yourself. Kodio Upon Chroma goes to do a presser, runs away from newsfile, sends you, then you come and embarrass yourself about things you don't know. Now let's come. Then he says that Bawa Rock has been given a monopoly even though Goldbod was supposed to be a state monopoly. You didn't read in the Goldbod Act that the Goldbod, even though it's a state monopoly, the sole buyer and seller of all gold. The Goldbod is supposed to exercise that power through its licensed buyers. Don't you know that? Or you read that because Goldbod is a monopoly, then Goldbod itself as a state agency will nationalize gold trading, set up offices and buy all gold, and take out all private licensees.
Thank you, Sammy.
You don't understand? I'm wrapping up. Then he says that the losses I spoke about are fake. I'm giving you my chat with somebody that I will not mention.
Okay.
In fact, I can mention. I think I have it. I'm mentioning that this is from the governor. This is from the governor of the central bank.
Which document? Hold on.
You don't even know simple things. You don't even know the difference between the change of name.
The page number you took us to spoke about the gold for oil.
Yes,
not for the gold for
reserves.
And gave figures that are not the same as the gold
number is something.
It's not true. Something is not true. I have the report.
Right?
I have the report.
These are the losses. Please.
It's not right.
This is from the governor.
Yes.
Okay.
2023 losses. G4O, gold for oil, 1.1 billion cedis. Gold for reserve, 973 million. Total,
so they are separate.
2.15 billion. They are all under G4R.
Okay.
Then you come to, they are all under domestic gold purchase program. Yes. Then you come to 2024 losses. G4O, gold for oil, 667.7 million cedis. Gold for reserves, 4.1 billion.
All right.
And you are here.
Okay.
You
hold on.
You are supposed to know these basic things.
Sammy, don't.
And then finally, I'm not attacking them. I'm only expressing surprise.
No.
Expressing surprise. You see, he says that he checked our financials and 60%.
I'll come back to you.
He says that 60% of our fees come from the BOG. So we are bleeding the BOG. Where was 60% of the fees of PMMC coming from? When we took office, PMMC had a 2023 good purchase agreement with BOG. The fees that PMMC under you, MPP, were receiving is the same fees Goldbod has received without even an increment of 1 cedi. You don't know this. And you're on news file embarrassing yourself. And you are talking that you're talking about the fact that an auction is opaque.
Thank you.
I will not even waste my time on these people. I will not banter.
It's okay. Hold on. Some you have done 16 minutes extra.
Who said that to review a policy means to cancel it?
Hold on.
I will not banter with that. It tells you how the thing. To review a policy means to cancel it.
Once again,
responsibility to
let me repeat.
It's not attributable to an 8-month-old Goldbod. Neither is it attributable to mismanagement or incompetence by the BOG. Because when you say that Goldbod has not made a loss, they say, oh, Sammy Gyamfi is saying it wasn't me, but it is BOG. Dr. Siama is a hero. And I'm going to explain that to you. He and that wonderful team at BOG. They have not, through mismanagement or incompetence, caused any loss. Any reported loss under G4R, if any, is a product of policy design. That is how the policy was designed. To come to incur intentional and strategic expenses for superior economic benefits. So we are not saying we have not made a loss, but somebody has made a loss through mismanagement. No, that is the policy design. And it is so sad that those under whom the policy was introduced are now feigning ignorance about the policy objects and the policy design.
Earlier in April of 2024, was it 2025, you were heard to have made, criticism of the PMMC for buying the gold at what you call spot price for the gold for reserves. And then selling to make loss. Meanwhile, you're doing the same thing.
Okay. You must understand, when I was speaking about the need for us to achieve some consensus, some agreement with miners, for us to be able to buy gold within a certain discount threshold, I was talking about the Goldbod model. I was saying that for Goldbod to avoid losses, the Goldbod will have to engage these miners for them to agree to some minimal acceptable discount. Under G4R, that is not the policy design and the policy rationale. First of all, let's ask ourselves, why was G4R introduced? Once you understand that, you will understand the point I'm making. The Bank of Ghana, Samson, did not wake up one day and said that, look, we want to make profit per, so we are going into gold for reserves. That was not the policy rationale. Over the years, Ghana has accumulated reserves mainly from the export earnings of commodities like cocoa, oil, and gold, and other export earnings. That has not been enough. So governments have resorted to borrowing to shore up reserves. Because without your reserves, your currency is dead. And without a stable currency, you don't have a country. You don't have an economy. So governments have had to resort to borrowing. Now, when the MPP came into power, that reached a crescendo because they abused it. And every year, averagely, they were borrowing from the Eurobond market about 2 to 3 billion US dollars. So by 2022, the results were staring us in the face. Debt default, marked by hyperinflation of 54%, currency depreciation of more than 50% by November 2022. And we being locked out of the capital market, so we could not borrow for dollars again. So there was so much pressure on the currency, and the currency was depreciated. It hit 17 cedis at some point in 2022.
Upgraded to junk status.
Yes, because there was no supply of FX to meet demand. So the Bank of Ghana said, okay, now we can't borrow for dollars again. And you see, when you borrow for dollars, the effect is palliative, temporal, because you have to repay the debt. And when you are repaying, you have to pay it in dollars. You have to go and find dollars to repay. So the Bank of Ghana said, okay, we will use cedis to buy our gold in Ghana. And we will sell the gold on a weekly basis, T+4, for dollars, and give the dollars to the market. So the purpose of the program has always been foreign exchange accumulation to meet market FX needs and to build reserves. For what purpose? For the purpose of national economic stability. The purpose is not for the central bank to be trading gold like a licensed buyer of the Goldbod trades gold, buying at discounts and margins to make profits. That was not the purpose. So when the Bank of Ghana started this, they didn't have any Goldbod in the picture. The market was dominated by foreigners. And these foreigners were not repatriating FX inflow